Hi team and welcome to your lesson today with me, Mrs. Garrard. Now our lesson today is about families and we're going to think about how families change over time. Let me share my screen with you. So the first thing that we're going to need to do today is gather some resources because a little bit later in our lesson, we're going to create a family wall hanging. So we'll need some resources. First, we'll gather some resources. Then we'll think about who is in your family and I'll share with you who is in my family. Then we'll look at some pictures and identify some changes that have happened in a family. Next, we'll create our family wall hanging. We'll make a picture of your family right now so that in the future you could look back and see how your family has changed over time. And then finally, you'll get to share your creation with your family at home and maybe with your friends. So let's get started. For this lesson, you will need your listening ears. Great, you've already got those. You will need some paper, some pens, and some glue. If you don't have pens, no big deal. You could use crayons or pencils. They'll work just as well. You'll need some lolly sticks and some ribbon. Pause the video now and gather your resources. When you're ready, come back and press play. Great to have you back. Now, let's start our lesson. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to think about who is in your family. All families are different and they're made up in different ways. You might have a mum and a dad that you live at home with. You might just have a mum that lives at home with you, or you might just have a dad, or you could even have carers that live at home and take care of you. You might have one set of grandparents or two sets of grandparents or no grandparents. You might have aunties and uncles in your family. You might have brothers and sisters. You might have cousins. You might come from a big family or a small family. All families are different, but all families care for each other and look out for one another. I'm going to share with you who is in my family. So in my family, I have my dad, my mum, my little sister, and right at the end, that's my daughter. Have a think, team. Who is in your family? Tell the screen. Wow, great team. Thanks for sharing with me who is in your family. I look forward to seeing your drawing of them right at the end of our lesson. Let's move on. So right now we're going to look at a picture. We're going to have to look really carefully to see what we can see, what we notice about the picture. Let's have a look. Look carefully at this picture. What do you notice? Tell me one thing that you notice. Tell the screen. Team, you might have noticed that all of the people in this picture are boys or men. That's one thing you might have noticed. You might have noticed that two of the men in the photograph have grey hair. They look a little bit older, don't they? They have grey hair because as we get older, our hair starts to turn grey. And they're also wearing glasses. And sometimes as you get older, your eyesight doesn't work as good as it did when you were younger. So that's something that you might have noticed. Now, I know that this family is 4 generations of the same family. So they're all related. So the little baby that the man in the middle is holding is his great-great-grandson. So the man in the middle with the white shirt is the father of the man in the green shirt. And the man in the green shirt is the father of the man in the blue t-shirt. And the man in the blue t-shirt is the baby's father. They are all related. Let's see what else you might notice. I can see that this family have changed over time. The little boy, well, he was a little boy, and the man in the blue t-shirt was a little boy once, and he's grown up and had a child of his own. Let's move on. I'm going to show you a picture of my family. I wonder if you can notice how my family has changed. Let's look at the picture. So I can see my mum and my dad are standing behind my sister and me. And on the other side of the screen, you can see my family as they are now. Now, I noticed straight away that my sister looks a lot older than she does in that picture. In the picture, she was about 3 and I was about 7. When I look at myself, I look really young. I'm a child in that picture. I'm not a child anymore. That's something that has changed. The years have passed and I've grown up into an adult. Both me and my sisters are now adults. We're not children like we were in the photograph. And when I look at my mum and dad, I can see that they have changed too. I wonder how your family has changed. So right now, we're going to make our wall hanging to show our families how they are now. And then maybe in the future, you'll look back at this wall hanging and see how your families have changed over time, just like my family has changed. People have grown up and they've got older and their appearance has changed. Watch the video carefully and listen to the instructions. So the first thing I've done is I've counted out some 6 lollipop sticks. I've got 2 purple ones, 2 blue ones and 2 red ones. And I'm going to make a house shape with my lollipop sticks. Can you see how I'm arranging them in a house shape? I'm going to glue them together. I'm going to put some glue on the ends of the lollipop sticks and fix them together. And then I'm going to put it to one side and wait for it to dry. You see how I'm fixing them together? I've made a triangle shape at the top for the roof of the house. And I've overlapped the ones at the bottom, moving it to one side to let it dry. And while it's drying, I'm going to start work on my picture of my family. Oh, look, it's dry. You'll have to be a little bit more patient. Wait a little bit longer. So now I've got a little piece of paper and I'm going to draw the members of my family. So I'm thinking very hard about who is in my family. First, I know my dad. So I'm going to draw my dad. I'm drawing the circle for his head and I'm using lines to make his body. Then I'm going to draw my mum. That's 2 people that are in my family. Then I'll need to add myself and my sister and my daughter. And I might even add my dog Milo too. He's in my family. I'm using the pencil to draw the shapes to represent the members of my family. Next, I'm going to use some coloured pens to add some colour and features to my family. So I'm going to think carefully about the colours I'm going to use. I'm going to use grey for my dad's hair because my dad's hair is now grey. That's a change we noticed in the picture. Then I'm going to use some colours to add clothes. He's got blue eyes, just like me. All of my family have blue eyes. That's something that's the same about us. We all have blue eyes. Carefully colouring in my picture. Being super careful to try and stay in the lines. Once my picture's complete, I'll need to fix it to the house shape that I've made to make our wall hanging. There we go. There's my picture all completed. And I'm just using a little bit of glue on the lollipop sticks. And then I'm going to stick my picture onto that glue. You see how I'm putting it face down? Positioning it carefully, smoothing it in place. And then I'm going to add some ribbon. Now, this is a little bit tricky to tie, so you might have to ask your parent or carer to help you to do that. It's really tricky to tie ribbon. I had a bit of trouble too. Can you see how tricky it is? It's a little bit fiddly. But once your ribbon is tied, then your wall hanging is complete. You just need to wait for the glue to dry. Then once the glue is dry, you'll be able to hang your wall hanging. I've hung mine in the kitchen so that everybody can see it. That way you'll be able to share your creation with everybody that comes to see you in your home. And in years to come, you'll be able to look back and know that that's what your family looked like today at this point in time. You might even have got some more brothers and sisters when you look at it again in the future. I don't know. Team, it's been really lovely having you with me today for our lesson. And I really look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye for now, team.